Howdy, howdy, y'all. Eric here, Driveline World's OK steering wheel holder, and I just got shut down. Got my truck washed and all that, but it took some driving. Well, I mean, not for truck drivers, not a lot of driving, but for extra miles, I had to drive 160 miles round trip to go 1 mile, less than 1 mile. So I got to get out and check my fluids and everything. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll come back and tell you all about it. But as mentioned in my previous video, I do have membership open up on the channel. Thank you all to those who have joined. So if you're a member on the channel, you'll get this video probably about 20 hours early, and then I will be making some more content for you guys over the next few days. But anyway, if you haven't done so, I don't ask it very often, but I've gotten a lot of subscribers over the last few days, so please do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to do at least every other day videos. But anyway, let's talk about this 160 miles. Let me get out and take care of some things because I'm shutting down for a 10 here at the shipper. I'll be right back. I left the house and didn't check all my fluids and everything, and I'm hearing some bubbling when I turn my truck off after driving for a few hours. I don't know if, I think that's my coolant reservoir, I would assume. My truck's not running hot, coolant's fine. It's when I shut my truck off, I'm hearing some bubbling, so it makes me all paranoid. It's got to be the coolant reservoir. Anyway, so it's currently 0-100, and I'm at Cargill in Springdale, Arkansas. Great load. It's paying $2,600 for 800 miles, but that 800 miles is going to be expanded quite a bit because for those of you familiar with the Springdale, Fayetteville, Rogers area, for some odd reason, this is just a total shit area for washouts, unless you get here in the middle of the day, which I try to never get here in the middle of the day. I hate driving through here in the daytime. I hate traffic. I hate driving during the day, period. There's just no 24-hour washout on the network. I don't understand how an area like Springdale, Rogers, with so many protein plants. There's Tyson, Cargill, and there's multiple Tysons. Probably like, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 Tysons around this area. Or cold storage that are like related to Tyson. But there's no 24-hour washout. It's the damnedest thing. And the trailers that you get here in this area, you ain't blowing out with a leaf blower, trust me. Some of the filthiest, nastiest trailers I've ever picked up were in Springdale, Arkansas. So over at Tyson, which is 0.9 miles from this Cargill, get this empty trailer over there, and guess what? No washouts open 24 hours. None. But I need to get over to this Cargill so I can shut down, start my 10. So I get checked in, shut down, do my 10. Everything's, ready to go for the evening today. So it does not work for me to go sit at a washout and park there until 0800, which that's another thing. Not only are there no 24-hour washouts in the Springdale area that are on the network, there's 3 of them, I think, and they all open at 0800. So there's not even one that opens early, because 0800 is not early. So you're not even going to get in. There's not even a 6 a.m. So, that was not an option. I got to go wait till 0800 and then have my clock all completely screwed up to where I'm ready to go for this load in the evening. So the only option for me, and this is like the 3rd time that this has happened to me, because again, I usually get Springdale in the middle of the night. You basically have to pick your poison. You're either going to go to Fort Smith or Joplin. If you want a 24-hour washout, it's going to be Fort Smith or Joplin. It's a pick your poison. I think Fort Smith is probably maybe 7 or 10 miles shorter, I think. And one good thing about that washout place is if you get there in the middle of the night and get your truck washed and wash out, they'll let you park. I don't remember what it's called, like Arkansas truck wash or something like that. But they've got plenty of room out in front of their bay where you can pull off to the side and park, which is kind of nice. But I didn't want to do that and then have to wake up and drive all the way back up here during the daytime. Plus there's more mountains and some construction going through Fayetteville down 49 to Fort Smith. And I needed my truck wash, and the pick my poison was, screw it, I'll just go to Joplin. I can get a little bit of fuel up in Missouri at the Loves and I think it's Neosha, Missouri, I think. And so that's what I did. That was 80 miles each way. So I added 160 miles. 80 miles each way to get my truck washed and a washout, to come back here to a place that is 9 miles from where I got my empty. Or sorry, 0.9, not even a mile. Right. In fact, when I got back here, I went right past that Tyson. So hours and hours later, I'm back here, and you don't really, you get paid for those miles, but you don't really get paid for those miles. It's all just part of it. Now, for those who complain and say, now if I was a company driver, I would want the load adjusted. If it was my driver, I would want him to, get the load adjusted, because I'd want them to get paid. I want my drivers to get paid for those miles. But for me, it's just a decision you got to make, and it's a part of the load. You know what I mean? Like I see so much stuff. These lease operators, independent contractors, they just don't get paid for this stuff. Yes, we do. I'm not complaining because I'm saying I don't get paid for it. Yes, we do. The $2,600 that this load pays for my time fueling. Fuel is included. Fuel surcharge is included. Reefer fuel surcharge is included. I basically have to look at that load and make a determination. Is everything that I'm going to have to do, and the money I'm going to have to spend for this trip, and the miles that I'm going to have to put on my truck, the time I'm going to have to put into it, is that amount of money worth it for all of that? And if my answer is yes, then I can't complain if I'm going to have to do a bunch of extra stuff. So I'm not complaining about the extra miles. It's just part of the trip. I could have said no. I knew that was going to be the case. So I could have said no. Like that, we have a choice. Nobody forced me to accept the load and thus have to drive extra 160 miles round trip just to get a washout. Nobody forced me to do that. I chose to do it. It's still worth it to me. It was empty trailer, got great fuel mileage up to Joplin, stopped at the Loves, got my truck washed, which was desperately needed. So it is what it is, It's all part of the show. So, but it doesn't make it any less depressing to have to drive 80 miles each way just to get a damn washout. It's pretty depressing when you're 1 mile less than 1 mile from where you're going to go pick up. This place does turkey, by the way. I'm not sure if it's butterball or I don't know, but it's turkey. So it's turkey load. And my window is kind of all day today. They say it's probably going to be ready by 8 o'clock, but I'm just going to wait and leave in the evening and run overnight. Because why would I leave at 8 a.m. and drive during daytime? I know a lot of you, that's exactly what you would do. That's not what I don't do daytime. No. I'll sit here and take a long break and then go drive with no traffic, 500 miles overnight. I got no problems with that. So yeah, it's all, it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. You can't be upset about it. I strongly disagree with all these, there's not a lot of them, but the people who say that we're not paid correctly, or we're underpaid, or independent contractors are, Prime and all these other carriers are just ripping off independent contractors. First of all, I have a choice to be in this truck. I can go do something else if I don't want to be in this truck. Second of all, I have a choice to accept a load or not. You have all the information at your fingertips, and either it's worth it to you or it's not. And that's why I get in such a twist with people who demand Prime doesn't show you the rate card, so you don't know whether they're keeping more than their share or not. And my answer always to that is, it doesn't matter to me. I don't believe Prime is taking more than their share, but it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is when the proposal comes to me and I see that amount, and the amount that's proposed to me is my share of the load, is that amount worth what I'm going to have to spend and do for me to run the load? What happens beyond that amount is whatever. What matters to me is the amount that's proposed to me. How much time does it have? And this only has about 48 hours. So, I'm doing $1,300 a day for 48 hours. So that's great for me. Great. Not a lot of time. 800 miles. Well, actually 960 if you really want to get technical about it. Although 160 were empty, so, it didn't burn a lot of fuel. But is that amount worth it to me? It's a yes or no. No one's forcing me to take that load. So this whole argument some of you get twisted up about on the, well, Prime won't show you the rate card or whatever it's called. I don't care. Like, that doesn't matter to me. It is not relevant to me. Again, even if Prime was stepping out of the 28% or whatever it is that I pay them, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is what I'm being paid, and for the amount of work and the cost it's going to be involved. Is that amount worth it? It's a yes or no question. Sometimes it's no, and I don't take the load. Most times it's yes, and I take the load. And that leads me to another video I'm going to be doing pretty soon. I'm getting really tired of this stop running cheap freight. Here's my answer to because everybody just thinks that Prime's freight is cheap. And some of it is. But my answer to that is I run profitable freight. See, what's profitable freight may be very different to you versus what it is for us, because we pull freight for the largest refrigerated carrier in the country, and thus a carrier that probably has the greatest buying power of refrigerated carriers in the country. Buying power for fuel, for supplies, for work on your trucks, whatever it is, buying tires. Buying power is substantial and significant, and thus it cost me a lot less to run my truck every mile than it does someone who's a one-man show and has virtually no buying power. So just because you see us running $1.40, $1.30, does not mean that's not profitable to us. That may not be profitable to you, but I can make money off $1.40. It can be profitable to me. I pay $500 a month for my tractor insurance, for bobtail insurance. I've got people that I know that are paying 5 times that. 5 times that. Brand new, starting out with their own authority, maybe not 5 times, but a lot more. A lot more. So yeah, what may seem like cheap rates to them are not cheap rates to me because they're profitable to me. Now, if you're out there running cheap freight and losing money, that's pretty stupid. And I try with everything in me. On occasion, I will have to run a load that is really kind of a losing proposition. And usually I try to make that as short as possible, and it's to get the F out of the Northeast or something like that, and just very quickly get into a reload area, because otherwise I'm going to be sitting up there and there's not going to be anything much better come along several days later. That's the rare instance where I'm at a break even or not a profitable, and that is, I have reasons for doing that, but that's not what I'm doing all the time. That's very rare. Vast majority of the time, I'm running profitable miles, profitable rates, not cheap rates, not cheap freight. So anyway, I'll do a video pretty much focused on that in the future. I'm gonna go back there and make something to eat, get some rest, get ready to run this. So all right, guys, be safe, make good decisions, always drive, thrive. Talk to y'all soon.